to the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel, and thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Monday. It's Man Talk Monday.
Woo! What's going on? welcome to Man Talk Mondays. I'm Derek, the Thought Engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi. How you feeling, man?
What in the world is going on?
I know that vacation got us messed up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. 4th of July weekend, well, got it in, man.
We had a good time. Good.
Yeah.
Had a pool party, good vibe, good food, good people,
and the
whole
people
nine.
actually got in the pool.
Yeah.
Always good, man. Always good.
Yeah.
Always good. Had a great time. Acosta de Ferguson. They had a great time.
Shout out to the Fergusons.
Yeah, had a great time, man.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Well, let me remind everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships. But of course, we're doing it from a man's perspective. Keep in mind, this conversation is not just for men. We want everybody to join us to the conversation. Men, women, boys, and girls, y'all welcome. How you do it, go into the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see it, and this is how you talk to us. But by all means, we want to hear from you. So, kinfolk, pull up. Where you at?
Get your chair and you smoke and you drink.
Where you at?
In that order. Get all that together. Pull on up in here. Let's get in this conversation tonight.
We're going to get into it tonight.
Should be a good one, man. It should be a good one tonight.
Yeah, sure. It should be a good one.
Should be a good one.
So, have you ever come across somebody, right? You knew them before they got married?
Oh, yeah.
And then after they've been married for a while, you like,
they've changed.
Who is this person? Who am I dealing with? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually you start hearing talks about divorce and leaving and all this type of stuff because the change hasn't been good. Hasn't been that good. So we're talking about tonight how not to lose yourself in relationships.
You can only be somebody else for so long.
Oh, man.
It gets really uncomfortable wearing a mask your entire life.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Why do people feel the need to put on or to wear a mask or keep up this facade in relationships?
You know, that's funny that you said the word put on.
Yeah.
To put on a facade of to make you believe that something that is not, something is not.
Yeah.
To fake you out. I'm trying, as I'm saying the definitions, I'm trying to figure out what would make me say I gotta fake this until I make it. I gotta act like I'm everything. I gotta act like that I'm everything that she'll want and that she'll need until I become that person. But the problem with acting or faking something is the real person is underneath, crying, dying, trying to get out. Because that's ultimately who she's going to get. Yeah, you only can fake it for so long.
Yeah,
before they real, especially when relationships get really serious.
Oh,
it's like, whoa, where the real people at?
Right,
because they coming. They come as soon as you get comfortable, and as soon as you get comfortable and take your wig off and be like, oh, excuse me, your wig and your bra, the real person coming. When your bra and your wig come off, the real person is coming out shortly after that, sir.
Oh man, I saw this video today. It's this couple. They were in the dating phase, clearly in the dating phase, and sounded like they had been dating for a while, but they went on this trip, and the girlfriend ripped one in the room.
Oh, had the whole room.
Oh man, she ripped one.
Had the whole room dark.
But the guy went completely left. He was like, "That's disgusting. That's the most disgusting thing for you to do something like."
What?
He packed up and left.
Was it like that though?
I said, man,
that thing must have been.
I remember that thing must have had a chain on it. But
did you smell sick or something?
But I don't know if it was necessarily. It was the idea that she did it. I'm like, yeah, he ain't the one. If you gotta hide and do all, he is not the one.
If you gotta have a stomach ache, walking around holding your stomach to keep from passing gas, then something wrong. Because that's natural.
Right.
Now, because I'm sure she said, "Oh, excuse me."
Well, she thought it was funny.
Oh, I bet. What?
She thought it was funny.
Oh.
And because when she started recording, it was the aftermath, and he was upset. He was so upset. He packed up and left.
Wow.
And I'm like, now, what if she went back and said, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. But that's part of her personality, is kind of not let loose in that way, but just kind of be lighthearted, have fun, because
so I'm curious how the audience did anything like that. how do you break your relationship person into you being more human?
How you break them in?
How you break them in to hey, listen, we're in a relationship now, and some relationship things. I'm not perfect. I know I've been eating salads the whole time, but I like steak and potatoes. I like eating what you eat. I never give. Me and Cheryl first got married. I never stayed with anybody. I always had my own place. So when we got married, Cheryl was the first woman that I stayed with.
Oh wow!
And I was in the bathroom, and she walked in the bathroom, and I was so taken back. I was so taken back. I was so taken back because I had never stayed with anybody before. That was new. All that was new to me, and it just was. What are you doing? Get out of here!
Pulling all his shirts up to you.
Oh man, but see, and this is the thing, because everybody's not used to what you used to, and oftentimes we'll assume that people are where we are.
Yeah,
and that's probably the worst thing you could do in relationships, is assume that somebody is where you is, because it sounds like to me, if she farted and she started laughing, she's silly and she like to have a good time. It appears she like having way more of a good time than he like having.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, because he was uptight. Oh, he was tightly wound, brother. What y'all let us know? Have you ever had to compromise something about yourself in order to stay or maintain the relationship you've been in or you were in?
Well, which is kind of a loaded question though, D. Because who hadn't bit their tongue in a relationship? Who hadn't seen or saw something that they didn't particularly like the person they was with doing, and they bit their tongue?
No, I think that's the issue. When it doesn't become me just being agreeable for the sake of the relationship, where you say, you know what, I'm probably tripping, to you starting to suppress who you really are, so you just try to call yourself keeping the peace.
Okay, so y'all wouldn't know this about me, but I am very. When I was dating, trying to remember way back, man, I'm the type of person, if you carry on, if you act more of a fool than I do in public, bro, I can't. Ain't nothing I can do. I'll be quiet. I'll shrivel up on you.
Really?
I'm trying to play I can't do it, man. I don't want to be, I don't know if it's I don't want to be embarrassed, or I think a lady, I'm old school, so I think a lady should always act like a lady. And if you're doing everything but that, I'll put up with you until I get to my car, but I'm gonna drive off and leave you. Doing 90. I'll be the one speeding down the street.
Now, which brings up a good point. In the dating phase, people hide who they are.
You have to sometimes though. I might not be able to get that guy or girl if I don't suppress some of who I am. Right? Don't I? Whoa, can I? Wait. Are y'all ready for the entirety of me though? Are you really ready for all this in the relationship, or do I need to ease up to the table?
I'm saying, how much should a person see before you commit to marriage, though? Let me get Dr. Selena. She says, I would ask questions to guide how much of the real me to reveal at what time.
When she say how much of the real me, what? See, I'm just curious. What could she be suppressing? What does she not want you to see just yet? Is it her attitude? Is it her snapback? When I say snapback, I don't mean snapback. Is it her
clapback?
Clapback.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't mean a snapback. No. I said. I'm trying to tell you. But no, is it a clapback? What is it about her that she's holding on to? Is she more mouthy than usual? What is it about? Because everybody does it.
Yeah. And this is why I tell people, you got to get people in circles where they can't necessarily hide who they are. Get around their people.
Yes. Oh.
Get around their people.
Go. That's why you go to family.
That's why you go to the cookout. That's why you go to holiday functions.
That's why you go.
Because family typically won't let you get away with pretending.
No, they're gonna call you on.
They're gonna call you on it. Like, ooh, you sure acting brand new around here, you know.
Well, and you comfortable around them. And generally, the more people you comfortable around, the more yourself you can be.
Right.
When you playing spades and dominoes, you're talking more noise. You cut your hair down, you're comfortable. There's no need to put on around them because they know you.
Yeah. Which is a good one. Get them in a competitive situation and see how they react to. Whether it's playing basketball, playing cards, do it something that's competitive and see how they act too. Dr. Selena says humor, maturity, seriousness, goofy side. All right. So she's saying she's asking questions, kind of like what if questions, to see where a person is, you know, in relation to something that's about, you know, how many people are you asking those type of questions to the person that you're dating?
Oh, we're not asking. No, we're not asking that. No. Because if I ask you something, I might have to lift up my mask to ask it. I mean, remember, we try most of the time in relationships, man, we don't want people to know all of who we are until they got us. Yeah. When you put on the ring, that's when the facade.
But is that right though?
No, it's not right at all. That's why people get married, divorced like they do.
So we talk about how not to lose yourself in relationships. So we backing up to before you actually get way into a relationship, because I think a lot of people make that mistake, and it's certain pressures that keep you concealing who you really are, and self-esteem is one of those pressures.
That's really good.
Self-esteem is a big pressure when it comes to not showing your true self to the person that you're dating, because there's a fear involved.
What's the fear though? What's the fear? They're not going to accept me for who I am. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not short enough. What's the fear? Because there are numerous things that could be issues, and what it causes us to do in relationship, it causes us to compromise who we are. Because the thing is this: if there wasn't enough good relationships, we wouldn't know what bad relationships actually are. And it causes you to compromise how you are allowed to be treated by somebody. This is the part I've been trying to get to right here.
How you're treated. Okay.
How you're treated.
All right.
Because I think if you are once you begin wearing the mask and compromising things, I think you compromise how you get to be treated. How you get to be treated.
Oh wow. Okay. So the things that you will accept.
Yes.
The boundaries that you are compromising. Right? If you feel a certain way about, you know, your significant other clubbing.
I was gonna say clubbing. How you know? I was gonna say clubbing.
Because we here, you know what I'm saying? But if you feel a certain way about it, then and you don't express it, but you trying to keep that person holding on. You trying to keep the person holding on, so you keep quiet about it. And then, like I said, once you get in that space, in that relationship, well, they're moving based on who you've allowed them to be up to that point.
Yes, absolutely.
And then now you're trying to pull back on that. And man, they got the show Married at First Sight. Now, the first time you meeting this person is at the altar. Married, it's a reality show.
That's a lot, man.
Dude,
Ooh, that's a lot.
And so you are kind of in the dating phase, but you're already married. So you're learning this person. Now, the experts, they're supposed to match you up based on certain things they know about you. I don't know how good their matching setup is because, brother,
because it's computer generated, and because it's computer generated, it should work. You would think it would work, and the problem that people have with Married at First Sight is because we normally do it out of order. We just not used to somebody else being behind us, pushing us for us to do that. I think that's the biggest thing is we normally can date somebody for 3 months and get married to them, and everybody talking, oh my God, y'all need to wait. But then when a TV show does it, it adds more stress to us because somebody got their hand in the middle of your back, pushing you to the altar.
Right. And with the low self-esteem and the acceptance part, you tolerate more than you're willing to.
How do you know what? And how do so many people get divorced or end up in bad relationships? Because they've lost themselves. They start accepting things. See, this is the thing. Let me just do this first. You know what compromise is in most people's mind? Compromise is this much. I'm going to do this just to get this done. But in reality, compromise is this. Compromise is, matter of fact, do y'all see my other hand off the screen? This one, off screen, because that's what compromise is. Compromise is always way more than we thought it was going to be. We thought if I did a little compromise, maybe they would do what I wanted them to do. But most of the time, it's not that. No. Yeah. Most of the time, you have to have been in a good relationship to know what a good relationship is. Yeah. And most people don't know when they win it because they're so used to losing.
Boy, you said something right there. And the thing is, when you get to the place where you're relaxing your boundaries just for the sake of keeping the person around, that compromise isn't healthy. A compromise like they want, you know what I'm saying? They want Italian, but you want Mexican.
And you hate Italian.
You know what I'm saying? But you say, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll go get Italian because I'll find something. That's a compromise.
That's a compromise, yes.
That's a compromise. But what would not be a good compromise?
If it's every day.
Oh, okay. Because, a compromise would be, okay, we'll go get Italian this time. Next time.
We'll go get what I want to get.
We'll go get. And you know, one of the biggest compromises that I've seen that hurts marriages is this compromise of, I'll work. Let me go out here. You stay home and you watch coming. I'll go out here and kill it, make the money and everything. And then once I get here, then, you know, you can go and you can make your thing happen and everything. It doesn't work out.
Well, the part that's interesting about that is it works the same way if it's a man or a woman.
Yes.
Men don't always have to go out and be the breadwinner. Women do that as well now.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy because you would think that there is an understanding at the beginning of it and everybody is good with the compromises. But I have found after a period of 2 to 3 years, I'm going to give you 2 years, that other person is about to lose their mind.
Oh, man.
If that woman is at home with the kids, she is losing her mind because she wants some adults to talk to. Mm-hmm. She wants to talk to somebody besides the kids. And if that man is at home, he wants to feel like he's a man, so there has to be something that he can do. If it's fixing stuff around the house, but there has to be something he can do. I think the compromise is great. I just think there should be boundaries on every compromise. They say, okay, all right, we're gonna do this from here to here. Timelines have to be boundaries and timelines.
Well, the thing about the compromise, you have to stick to the negotiated terms.
Well,
and once you get to a certain point, the temptation.
the terms and stipulations that we addressed at the beginning.
Yeah.
Normally you can't go back to them same things once we're in the marriage and relationship.
You gotta revisit.
I have beat your walls down. When I say what, now this is the first time. I'm not.
We gotta do some clarification.
You're compromising walls.
Right.
I beat the walls of your compromising down.
Right.
Now the stipulation that we had at the beginning, you can't go back to that now. We are so far past where we were then. So, and now, and with that being said, I've allowed your heart and your feelings to get in it now. Yeah. Now you don't want, now as much as you won't change, you're not gonna fight me on it because you want peace more than you want anything else.
Right. So, case in point, let's say you got a married couple, man and woman, and originally they came into the marriage, both of them had, great careers, all this type of stuff. And so one of them wants kids. The other one don't. They kind of.
That's good.
But they said, all right, so we'll work and we'll save for 3 years, and then we'll have a child. 3 years come up.
So wait. So I can let me create a scenario for you before you get there. You know who decides whether or not they have a kid?
Who?
The one who loves the least.
Oh, do explain, sir.
Because that other person is going to do whatever they got to do to keep that other person happy. And if, for example, if the wife is trying to not manipulate, the wife is trying to get the husband to have kids, if the husband act like he could care less, then they won't have kids.
Okay. So to that point, the Devon Franklin and Megan Good.
Okay. Yeah.
Those two people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they out there. They was this fabulous couple.
Books and all that.
I mean, on stages talking about ministry and marriage and being in Hollywood and all. And all of a sudden, it comes to an abrupt end, and kids were brought up.
Because who you think controlled that relationship? Who benefited the most from that relationship? Him or her?
Him.
That's why they don't have kids.
Him. Because
if she benefited more, she would have to pop out one. Just tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong right then. Because that's who controls the relationship.
The person that cares the least.
Yes.
Controls the relationship.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So you get to that point, you get to this, and you say, okay, we said we will have kids. We start trying to have a kid by this time.
I didn't say don't love each other. I didn't say that. I don't want that to be confused with don't love each other. I didn't say that because people are going to confuse what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't love each other. I'm saying
the person that cares the least
controls the relationship.
Well, I think we probably need to clarify that because you saying we're not talking about loving, but you're saying the person that cares the least. What are we caring the least about? That might need to clarify that. What are we caring the least about?
One of the things my mom told me, she said, when you marry somebody, make sure that person loves you more than you love them. And I was like, what? Why? She said, because you'll be for the rest of your life trying to make them love you the way that you want to be loved.
Okay.
So with that, the person that's trying to make the person love them the way they want to be loved is more willing to compromise. It's more willing to say, you know what? I know I wanted kids, but I'll wait. Maybe I'll put it off a year. That 1 year turning to 2 years. That 2 years turning to 4, and then 10, and then now you don't have kids. Well, I wanted kids. Well, I thought, and then he said, well, I thought we had decided that ain't what we wanted. No, that's not what we decided. That's what you decided. But you didn't say nothing. Well, I didn't say nothing for the fact that because I can't admit to. I was just.
So whose fault is it at that point then? Is it the person, or is it one that didn't say anything? The one that compromised.
It's the person that compromised.
All right. So Michael Lewis says facts.
Because you can't get mad. You can't get mad at the person that didn't compromise if you don't say nothing about it.
So we talk about a person cares the least. We talking about the one who cares the least about hurting your feelings or really expressing themselves.
Yes.
And not compromising on what they want.
Yes.
Right? Because it's going to come a point where I run the risk of offending the other person.
You can't care about that.
And you can't care about that.
You know, it's okay to care about it, but you can't care about it to the extent that it makes you feel some kind of way. And I heard this the other day. I was watching the track thing on they got a track thing on Netflix about the
Sprinter.
Yeah. And they said in order to be successful, you have to be selfish. And I think sometimes in relationships, we want to have a successful relationship by my standards. Not our standards, but by my standards. And by my standards, I have to be more selfish to have a successful relationship by my standards, which means I do this thing kind of like I want to do it, and you have to be okay with that.
Well, because here's what's happening. There's fear on both sides. The person that's overcompromising, there's a fear there, but the person that's uncompromising, there's a fear there too.
What's the fear there? The person that's undercompromising. What's the fear there?
It's the same. No, it's not quite the same.
No.
The one that's uncompromising is fearing losing themselves. The person that's overcompromising is fearing losing the other person.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
But there's still a fear residing there.
Okay, so how do we get past that fear for both of them? Because at the end of the day, both sides want what they want in a relationship, and they want it to work. How do we get this thing to work? How can I be me and you be you and we both be good?
That's a good question. So we're gonna dive into this a little bit. Gonna talk about five things, right? 5 key strategies so you don't lose yourself in relationships, right? So first thing, and it always comes up, and it's that communication, open and honest communication.
Okay. I'm gonna add a caveat to the open and honest communication.
All right.
I'm gonna say the longer that you are married, the more difficult it is to communicate at that level. And the reason why, because the longer you married, the more things are assumed. Me and Shelby married so long, I don't feel like I have to say as much to as I used to before, when it's actually the opposite. Yeah. When the longer we married, the more I need to be communicating with, the more I need to talk to her about stuff. But again, the longer we met, I think it's the opposite. We think it's the opposite when we're married. Oh, everything can be assumed. And the trick of the enemy is thinking that things can be assumed in marriages. That is nothing but the trick of the enemy.
You know, you just said something, and I think we have to be aware of assumptions that we make. Now, granted, you get to a point to where you kind of get into this rhythm. You get into this rhythm, and the rhythm takes over, and this is where the assumptions start, right? Yes. But you take for granted that people change. Now, we want change to happen, but we want it to happen in a positive way.
Because we changing.
Exactly. We change.
Yes. And we are hoping and praying that they are changing with us. Because remember what we say, when you're growing, you're either growing together
or you're growing
apart. Yes.
Yep. And you want to grow together. And that's why the communication has to happen. For anybody that watches sports, if you're watching sports on TV, you just see guys moving around. But if you ever get a chance to go to a sporting event and get close to where the players are, and you hear them, there is a lot of talking, a lot of communication happening. Every now and then you can catch it on the microphones, but that communication is happening. If you are a team, that communication has to be happening all the time. There are certain dynamics that are being thrown at you, situations, scenarios being thrown at you constantly. And if you assuming I'm good, but I'm injured in some kind of way, If I don't say, hey, I don't have it.
Yeah, true.
I'm not running at 100 right now. I don't have it. Then you make the assumption that I got it and something falls through the cracks.
Yeah.
And so you have to watch out for that, and definitely getting too complacent. We talked about that last week, that complacency. You get too complacent and just get into that routine and that rhythm.
Yeah.
And you stop talking.
Way too comfortable.
You stop talking.
Way too comfortable. And relationships are so delicate, and it's crazy because, man, we don't handle them that way. The more comfortable we get with being in our relationship, the more complacent and the more relaxed we get in them, and relationships can't afford for you to be that way.
I've seen married couples where it's clear that one party is suppressing for the sake of not rocking the boat or not, upsetting the other person. And if you watch them together, you can see it. You can see the micro expressions, where they do little things, and you like, wow. Oh man. And you like, man, this thing can't last like that.
It just always made me say, I wonder what it'd be like when it get real. Cause this thing, it don't look real here. I wonder what it's like at home. How they do at home. I want to see the fight.
You want to see the fight?
It's a fight. It's definitely a fight at the house.
Because that suppression leads to, like people call it a powder keg, right? A powder keg means one spark gonna ignite and it's gonna blow it all the way up. And you keep pushing that thing down, and that pressure is building. And all of a sudden, one day, you gonna go off. Now, you may not go off verbally. You either go off or you run off. You start entertaining stuff you ain't supposed to entertain, conversation, stuff like that, because that thing is trying to find a way out. You still trying to find a way to express it in some type of way, but you don't feel safe expressing it to the person you really need to express it to. And that's where the issue is.
You said go off or run off.
You go off or run off. Right. Go off or run off.
That's a shirt right there. I'm going off or running off. One of the two.
And let me tell you, for people who are close to God, it can really get bad because you can't go there. You understand what I'm talking about? You can't go there, and you almost feel trapped, especially if that person is acting a monkey and you's like, I can't go there because me and God got this thing. I don't want to violate him. And so you hold back. And God's not saying just roll over. This is where you gotta suck it up and communicate. Sure, Lucy's, that's how I know who Lucy is. Lucy's communication is definitely needed. Most importantly, understanding what is communicated. Sometimes we become complacent and don't recognize or learn how to read the room.
She said it to me all the time. You're not reading the room.
Reading the room is social awareness. It's being aware of other moods and feelings around you, so you know how to adjust yourself. Whether you need to say something or whether you need to chill, you need to be aware. And if you've ever been around somebody who is not socially aware, they are very hard to be around. People with no social awareness are hard to be around. They are. Because they think it's like everything has to revolve around them. So you're narcissists and stuff like that. Ken says, sounds like Clubhouse not reading the room. Oh, yeah. Because you have people in Clubhouse and there's a conversation going on, and it's like you come into the conversation and it's nothing about what's really being talked about. Because you already got in your mind what you want to talk about. Yes, and so you just run over the present conversation, especially if good information is being shared. And so you got to definitely read the room. All right. So now, second key strategy for maintaining yourself in a relationship is, it's kind of a backup, but don't be unequally yoked. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna, that's
Don't be unequally yoked.
See, that's the one that double backs to get you. Because you didn't address that at the front. Now I got to double back and get you, and I'm going to be all over your relationship because y'all didn't check this at the front door.
Oh man. Listen, you can get so wrapped up to the aesthetics of a person. Ooh, she fine. Ooh,
she got yam.
He's 6 foot. All this type.
Yeah.
You get so wrapped up in the aesthetics and you don't understand their value system. When it talks about don't be unequally yoked, it's not talking about both of y'all Christians. Because let me tell you,
you got
people that are Christians and they so far apart from each other with the values.
See, we don't talk in our fairness, man. We don't break down what unequally yoked means. Because, like you said, the key point, we can all be believers and have completely different ways and strategies on how we want to raise kids and bring kids up.
Raising kids, money strategies. If you both of y'all Christians, but you come from a family where they value money management, right? They save for a rainy day, all that type of stuff, and you get with a person who is in survival mode. It's 24/7. It's day to day.
24/7.
Y'all are not going to get along. It is going to be chaos around there. So when we talk about unequally yoked, you're talking about having the same kind of background, having the same kind of values, or at least you've examined your values enough to know what you're willing to give up and what you're not willing to give up. Because sometimes your mama and your grandmama, they done fed you a load of all just nothing, and you running off that misinformation, and then you wise up to it. So you say, I gotta let some stuff go. Right?
You know, it's funny. I think we lose ourselves more in this particular part of it than we do anywhere else.
Oh man, all you gotta do is say Jesus, and everybody think you're on the same page. Come on now,
dude. I had a friend of mine that was that messed with this girl. She was. I heard. I didn't really know.
You heard.
A friend of mine told me that was a friend of his told me how fine she was. I didn't have to see her. But I heard she was really fine. But anyway, it's not about me. But I heard she really fine, and he was Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
and she was Christian.
And
how do you look over that? You can't look good some because I think. They start having as soon as she got pregnant, had a baby. It was because she want birthdays. She want Sundays. She wants
she wants Sundays.
Dude, it was and I kept thinking, how could you get married? And then somebody told me she was just so fine. He thought it would work out, and
that's why I say you can't get wrapped up in the aesthetics. Avia says yes, you can be unequally yoked Christian. Yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Happens all the time because you more Baptist than you are Christian, but that's a whole other thing. But Ken said, yes, that part, Pastor Derek, about unequally yoked Christians, that's like has part 8 series like Star Wars. You talking about let's do a whole series on unequally yoked. Yeah. Because that thing goes, this goes way deep.
Listen, when we say this, and we don't get enough credit for saying this because we professionals, relationships are the great equalizer.
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter how much money you have or don't have.
They'll humble you.
Oh, my God, yes. And you know what? But the humbling thing is we don't address the unequally yoked part of it. This is the most important part of it, man. Yep. Because if you like staying at home and she like being out in them streets, there is going to be an issue.
Right. And the thing you have to understand is we've lost a sense of community. We don't have really healthy cultures anymore. It used to be where every house was similar.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. They were similar. Y'all went to the same church, went to the same schools, and so the houses were similar. But now
I don't even see my
your neighbor can be right next to you, but they so far from you.
True. Can be far.
They can be the same color and everything can be so far from you as far as values and everything are concerned. And really, when you get married, when we talk about becoming one, becoming one is a bringing together of the value system. It's coming under one common value system. That's what becoming one is really, really about. To where y'all value the same things, but this happens in conversation.
So let me tell you a story. So me and Cheryl had Janae. Cheryl had our help. I was in there huffing and puffing. So Cheryl had Janae, right? Janae at the daycare. They're going to have a Halloween party.
Okay.
Everything. Now, me and her, we had a crossroads on how we should handle this. Janae's 3-4 years old. Don't really understand. All she knows is they doing something. I want to do it
too. Yeah.
And why can't I do it? And her mind is not going to understand. Well, you know, the Bible says in Deuteronomy 55 and 17 that no, she's not going to understand. She's not going to understand that. So we talked about, you know, it's funny. Having kids will make you communicate. Having kids make you talk about, so what is the best plan or strategy that we can come up with that's going to get across what we want to get across and not kill our witness at the same time.
Is it that kids will make you communicate, or is it kids become that point of I'm not compromising and everything starts to come out?
Oh yeah. Because they're gonna make you figure out where, you know what, my daughter's 30. 30, she's gonna get married. And right now, when I deal with her, I have to figure out what I'm going to compromise and what I'm not going to compromise. I still have to do that now. She's 30. So I can imagine being 5 or 6.
Oh, bro.
And you're trying to mold and shape her, and you just can't say. I think she ended up going to the Halloween party, but she was dressed up like Mulan or something. We didn't want to have her dressed up like no
witch and
no devilish. We wanted the church to whoop us too. So, but dude, that was a big thing, man, because we was holy rolling at the time and wasn't really sure how we should do it. But as much as we was holy rolling, we're like, hey, what's gonna be best for? We don't want to kill. We don't want to have her where she's feeling some kind of way about it. Even if we right in what we're saying, it was tough, man. It was that thing was tough, bro.
Yeah, because if you Baptist to your heart and you get with somebody who's Jehovah's Witness, and even if you go along, there's only so far you can go before you like, you know what? I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
I can't do this no more. I knew a couple. One was Seventh-day Adventist. The other one was Catholic.
Oh, wow.
And they had their first child. And, you know, Catholics do Ash Wednesday, where they actually put the ashes.
Yeah.
It was an issue.
Yeah.
It was a big conflict.
Oh, I bet.
It was a big conflict.
Dude, it's funny too, because you wouldn't think that it would be. I'm just thinking, why would that be a big deal? But I can definitely see that being a big deal.
Oh, bro. Listen, the only place you get along can't be the bedroom. I'm got to tell you that. You got to get along outside the bedroom too.
Because eventually it's going in the bedroom. Remember, you used to get up and you would turn that thing. You know, I belong to the Lord now. I can't do it like that no more, baby. But you ain't saying. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
I'm just saying, brother. It's going in there. It's coming in the bedroom.
You said Jesus killed the freaking me, huh?
I can't do it like that. No, I can't do it like I'm telling you.
But these are the things that people have to be aware of, especially when you in relationships, especially going into it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be aware of these things because your value system dictate your beliefs and how you operate and how you function. And there's only so much suppression that you can actually do before, like I said, it's going to blow up.
Because listen, the marriage and a relationship with somebody is the one place that you can be comfortable at. And if you can't, I mean, it's a hell of a thing to be uncomfortable in your relationship.
Yeah.
Because now I can only be comfortable with my boys. Now I can only be comfortable and do that, and that just creates a thing, man. The worst. It's really nobody wants that.
Yeah. So the third strategy to how not to lose yourself in relationships is to do self-reflection and awareness, self-reflection and awareness. What I mean by this, you want to somebody keep a journal, because the compromises that you make can be so subtle that you don't realize that you're changing. You don't realize until you look up and all of a sudden you in a place you like, how did I get here?
Oh, because what they say, if the guy said he wanted his desk, this pastor came.
Oh yeah.
And they moved this pulpit over. They moved this pulpit over to the right side. He said, I like it centered. He said, well, now we normally like it on the right side. So he moved it 1 inch.
1 inch.
1 inch every week.
Yep.
And in a matter of time, it was back in the center and nobody even noticed it. And that's the same way that it happens when we are compromising, and when you're doing stuff that you don't necessarily believe in. All it takes is for you to turn just a smidgen.
Yeah.
And if you turn for a smidgen long enough, that car is going to be off the road and you're going to be trying to figure out, how in the world did we get here?
Yep. They keep on with the, could you do this? Just do it for me this time.
Say, you slapping me and choking me, and I don't even like being choked. How do we get here?
How did we get here? I wouldn't have never put up with that before.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. But if you keeping a journal or you keeping track,
write it down. You
writing things down, you start to say, you know what? I'll notice this has been happening a lot. Why? Because you got a track record. On this day, I compromised here. On this day, I compromised here. And you're like, I'm doing way too much compromise.
And you started out by saying, this ninja asked me today. Oh, you ain't gonna believe this. But he's right. He's absolutely right. You need to be writing it down, because whenever you confront or go say something about it, you're gonna need proof, because they're gonna call you on.
Oh,
they're gonna call you on.
Yeah. Absolutely. Next thing, the fourth thing is, you want to define your personal goals and values. Wow. Define your personal goals and values. You do want to you want to find out what is important to me.
That's good.
As who I am.
That's good.
Right? Now, you have some taste specific things that, the other person they can't necessarily get with, but they don't mess with you about. They like, oh, that's them. Like, I like weird comedy. I'm not gonna say weird comedy. I like Friends and Frasier and stuff like that.
Hated them.
Just see, he don't like. My wife doesn't really get with it either.
I don't get with that.
Right? But she doesn't. If I'm watching Friends or watching Frasier, she don't
walk inside. Oh Lord,
come turn all this stuff off. I'm out of no, she
devilish. A devilish comedy. You know
what I'm saying? She'll just pick up her phone and start scrolling or something while I'm watching. Or she's doing something at the time while I'm watching it. Mm-hmm. But she understands that's me. That's who I am. Certain things aren't deal breakers as far as it doesn't damage the relationship. But you have to be able to understand who you are, right? And who you are should complement the us in the relationship.
Because that's who they fell in love with.
Or should. Dub says, just stay single and get new relationships every year. Stay in that fun party permanently. LOL. We just saw something. I remember, I don't know if you shot me the video, I shot you the video. What this guy said, he said, people keep jumping out of these relationships because they are scared to change.
Yeah.
They don't want to change. Right? And there will be some compromise and there will be some change, but you want the change to be healthy. You want the change to be a positive, right? You don't want to go from being a good girl to, you know what I'm saying, in your whole phase.
Oh, you know what that is. Well, we not want to say the good girl to that girl.
Right. You don't, that's not a positive change. Despite what people tell you, that is not a positive change.
And also on defining personal goals and values, if you don't define that for yourself, somebody else will.
Oh, absolutely.
So you have to make sure you let people know what you go for and what you won't go for and what your goals and values are. Because they'll tell you if you don't know what they are, they'll tell you.
Like I said, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And you can't be afraid to stand for what you believe in. Even in your relationship. This is why we go back to the unequally yoked, because you don't want that to be a shock to their system. If you believe something, if you stand, then I respect that. I respect that. So because I respect that, this is how I'm going to move with you in regards to that.
You know what? Did you see that? What she said? Read that.
Okay, I'm about to read it.
Because I was just in there.
Dr. Rivers, she says, not knowing who you are with a partner is like going in Walmart without a list. What? Listen. Everything will end up in your basket.
I was just in Kroger. I'm in there getting everything because I don't have a list. And my wife was like, what are you doing? She got the list. I don't have no list. I'm just and we get to the thing. Everything is in our bag. She's like, John, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I don't, and you don't know how it got there. Dude, by the time we get there, we got everything in our basket.
Yeah.
Well, girl, you almost made me jump out of my seat. Because you are so right about that.
But thinking about the list is the plan.
Yes. Yes.
You have a plan for your life. They have a plan for their life. And you get together and you examine the plans and say, is this something we can work together?
Yes.
Because if it's nothing you can work together, y'all not compatible. You are not compatible.
Yes. And that's why you bring those to the table.
You bring it to the table. Because once you come together and you form a unified plan, the plan now dictates everything. And I tell people, you don't recognize if the person is your person until you know your plan. Lucy says, if you don't value yourself, no one will. Right? So not valuing yourself kind of gives people the permission to just run over you. Right? So fifth thing, going into basically what I said about people running over you, setting healthy boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries.
Yes.
We ain't talking about isolating yourself from people where can't nobody talk to you, can't nobody say nothing to you. Mm-hmm. But knowing how far you are actually willing to go in communicating that. Right?
Yeah. Girl, if you slap me one more time, I ain't gonna put up with it. I ain't gonna put up with it. Oh, wait a minute. If you slap me one No, you're absolutely right. Healthy boundaries is the name of it. Healthy. Think about it, because it's funny because I used to say, if you go into a relationship and you say what you will do and what you won't do, you probably gonna be in trouble with most relationships, because relationship normally push us past what we say we were gonna do. Yeah. That's why it's important while you're in a relationship to establish healthy boundaries that of what you will do and what you won't do, because relationship will definitely test that.
I was listening to this book. I think it's called Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud, if I'm not mistaken. And he brought up this story where the husband values being on time. The wife does not.
Well, look at that.
So he had a work function that he was going to. It was like a dinner function or something. And he told his wife, we're leaving. We need to leave by this time. She, of course, was not ready.
What?
Now, him setting boundaries. This is how he set his boundaries. He left her.
I was going to ask, did he leave her?
He left her, went to the function, came home, and what? She was upset.
What was she upset about?
She was upset. How could you leave me here? You knew I was going with you. Why did you just leave me here?
And what did he do? I need to get this book. What did he do?
Next time she did it, he left her again.
Oh, she thought he was playing.
Because his boundary was, don't make me late.
Oh, wow.
That's his boundary. But if he kept compromising,
he would have been
waiting on her. They're
going to be late now.
They're going to be late. Now, if it's something that he's important to him, then now he's going to be mad. He's going to be frustrated. But he said, nope. I'm setting this boundary. Now she knows when he says we need to leave by this time, I need to get myself together if I'm going.
So wait, did he ever stop leaving, or is he still leaving her today?
No, because by the way he ended, he said she knows now. She adjusted herself to make sure she was ready by the time, or she just declined to go.
She put her shoes in the car early. Let me put my shoes and my dress and my makeup in the
Oh,
car.
I want to tell this story so bad, but I can't.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
You can't.
I can't
Go
tell
ahead.
it. I can't tell it.
All right. Okay, go ahead. What's next?
All right. So the last key strategy in maintaining your self-identity in relationship is practicing authenticity.
Wow.
Practicing authenticity. Be true to yourself by expressing your genuine feelings. Right? Genuine feelings and needs. You want genuine feelings and needs. That means don't lie to keep the peace. Let me tell you.
Oh, man. Dude.
When you lie to keep the peace, you're not keeping the peace. That's not peace. Because you're in turmoil while the other person's okay. That's not peace.
What do you always say?
The path to peace is not peaceful.
Oh, my God. You got to ruffle some feathers every now and then.
Right.
Because if you don't, listen, somebody told me this a long time ago. They said, listen, man, you can say yes to something now, but eventually it's going to circle back and you're going to have to say no to it.
Yep.
The confrontation is coming. Now, whether or not it's a peaceful one or whether or not you up and yelling, it's coming. Now you just need to figure out how you're going to deal with it because it's coming.
Yeah. And when I say the path to peace is not peaceful, I mean, you got to be okay with the uncomfortable stuff.
Yes. Oh, that's what relationships are all about, uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
You want to go somewhere we don't have the money. You think that conversation is comfortable? I checked it because we have two bank accounts. We have the actual bank account and we have the spiritual one, what my wife looks at.
He said the spiritual.
My wife operates out of the spiritual account. We ride through looking at $300, $900,000 house, $1 million houses. You know, man, we need to go look over it. And I'm thinking to myself, and what we gonna look over there for?
So she out there calling those things that be nuts.
I said, oh, she must be operating in the spiritual bank account. So the one I see got a negative $37 in it. Hey, girl, I need that checkbook because you tripping.
But expressing your genuine feelings is something that's not always easy.
It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy though,
because somebody's gonna take it a certain way.
Yes.
Right. And you would hope people are mature enough to just understand, okay, this is how you feel, and I want to respect your feelings. But you expressing your feelings, a person who's not mature takes it as an attack on them. And
everybody's feelings is valid.
Yeah.
If someone says you made me feel this way, or I think this, we can't discount it. And just because you didn't intend for it to be taken like that, and it was taken that way, you can't discount it. Well, hey, listen, that wasn't my intention. This is what I meant. This is how I meant it.
Yeah. Yep. And your needs need to be expressed too. I remember hearing this pastor say, he said, you can't progress beyond your spouse's pain point. Right? It's not what's comfortable to you. It's what's uncomfortable to your spouse that you really got to pay attention to. You might be okay moving across the country.
Yeah.
But your spouse is family is right here.
She want to be with her family.
She want to be with her family.
Yeah.
And that job is a good job. It's going to make a whole lot of money. But you're going to get her over there and she is going to be miserable and she's going to let you know she's miserable.
And she may even go with you, even though she knows she's going to be miserable.
But she's going to let you know. She is going to let you know she's miserable. But you have to, when you're weighing decisions, these are the things that you have to think about. Especially when it's about not losing yourself. You got to understand who you're dealing with. And if that person is expressing themselves, now you're informed so you can make the right decisions.
Well, man, it's just really important knowing who you are before you go into relationships. A lot of the times we don't know who we are.
Yeah.
And you can't single. And you can't figure that out with nobody.
Yeah, be single.
And most of the time, and stop allowing people to define who you are by being based in a relationship. Because relationships don't base that. No, you can't find yourself in a relationship. All you find in a relationship is your legs up. Anyway, final thoughts, y'all. Final thoughts.
Go ahead, man.
final thoughts. My final thought for the evening is this. Everybody deserves the best version of you. Even you. You deserve the best version of you, because if you get the best version of you, you won't accept nothing less from anybody else. But the reason why we accept less from other people is because we go in less. You go in limping with slew foot. You go in limping with your back out and your leg broke. Thus, you got to accept slew foot limping over here with you. But when we on our game and get ourselves together, you can expect the top game from somebody else. And that's my final thought.
Listen, compromise is a place where there's too much obscurity there. You got to communicate, and you don't want to be in a place where you start losing yourself and you start regretting it and you start feeling a certain way about it, because it's only a matter of time before you get back into that corner. And once you get back into that corner, typically you're going to come out swinging. Give people the opportunity to make decisions based on who you really are by expressing yourself. There's a lot of communication. And we just said something about being single. Know how to be single. Know yourself. Know yourself. And that takes you being single. And listen, don't let people treat you like you're deficient because you don't have nobody. We talk about boundaries. That's a boundary you have to set with everybody else. Listen, I'm by myself. I'm fine. I'm learning me. I'm growing. Let me do me. When it's time for me to bring somebody else into my life, I'll deal with that at that point. And sometimes you got to get people told, let's be honest. But know yourself. Know yourself before you get into a relationship, so you know where the compromises really lie. And that's my final thoughts.
And remember, guys, we got merch. We got the My Barber. It's my therapist shirts, and we also have the Man Talk.
Got some Man Talk shirts too.
Got the Man Talk shirts.
Man Talk shirts too.
Yes.
So if you want one, Dr. River says good stuff tonight. Thank you for checking us out, Eric. He said that right there. No, before you go. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Right about it.
Appreciate all our people for watching. Kinfolk. He's my slew foot. Yes, it takes somebody from the South to know about old Slootfoot, but we appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all. And listen, we got some dynamite shows coming out for you guys. Hey man, we want to give y'all love. We love y'all. Thank you guys for all the continued success and what we're doing. We got some big things we're trying to do, man. And we just y'all keep rocking with us, man.
Absolutely. Gonna catch y'all next week.
I'll be blessed.
Peace out.